Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lied.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late. They cancel last minute. Forget the things you've told them because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Mantra, slave songs, slave ship, brisket, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired as a friend on a slack for a week. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our story.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Did I say Friday? Shit. Happy Monday. Yo, I'm still coming off for the weekend. I ain't gonna hold you. Got my sleep schedule kind of messed up because I've been up like binge watching stuff that I ain't get to catch up on. So excuse me. Good to be here again with y'all this Monday morning, 2026, right around the corner. Coach, Grand Rising, sir. What's the word, man? How you feeling? How was your weekend?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Man, been a rough weekend, man. I ain't been sleeping much, man. Just been up working, kind of like you said, man. Just getting with it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Sometimes, man, you just have those days, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's worth it, though. I mean, especially if you doing something in particular that matters, right?
Right.
Shout outs to my poets, my writers, my content creators. You see the title. I got a clip I want to bring to y'all, man. Y'all tell me if I'm tripping. I think bro was kind of cooking though, but you know, everybody's opinion might be different. So let's go ahead and just bring that up on the big screen real quick. I'm gonna let them rock out, and we'll just take it from there.
Garage Talk. So a few days ago, I posted a video talking about how the way that we live, everybody is in this game, whether they like it or not. And somebody reached out to me and they said, hey, can you give me an example of one of the games that they're playing on us? And he's, because there are many games, he said, but just give me one and tell me what you did to get out of it. Well, that was simple. The holiday game. So think about this shit. Most people don't really realize that we have a holiday damn near every month. You start off in the year in January. So you go from New Year's to Valentine's Day, the fucking sweetest day, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, back to school in August, Labor Day, Halloween, fucking Christmas, and all the other shit in between. So every month they keep putting shit in front of you because the goal, what they try to do is to distract you so they can extract from you. because they're trying to extract your money, your time, your energy, your resources, because you got to remember, you're nothing more than a resource to them. You're no different than oil, gasoline, lights, utilities, etc. You just happen to be a human resource. So they're always using you to feed the system. So what did we do? We realized it was a game. So we said, you know what, fuck that. We're just not going to play it at all. So we don't celebrate any holiday. What we do is we utilize that time to get the family together, eat, break bread, watch movies, and we do shit like that. Because I don't need a specific day for you to tell me I need to go and buy somebody something. I can do that anytime. I like the time of just spending time together with my family. And so we'll do that. And the big thing for me, you know what it does? It reduces my stress level for them too. We're not running around in these malls. Oh shit, I gotta get a present for this person. I gotta get a gift for this person and that. Oh shit, it's her birthday. I forgot. Oh, I need to go and get a Valentine's Day card and some flowers. And oh shit, no more good cards left. Now I gotta be slick and try to write a hand note to make it seem like, no, none of that shit. Because it extracts so much from you and it's not even necessary. So that's a game. We just said, you know what? We're not gonna play. And even on your birthday, we don't buy gifts. We just say, hey, it's your birthday. Let's have dinner. We can go out or we can cook. What do you want? Hey, we do whatever that person wants. They may say, I don't want to do shit. I'm tired. Cool. We move on. But we took control of that because we understood that part of the game that they were playing. And so we just chose not to play that one. Come on, shit.
Is the holiday a scam? Or has it just been turned into a scam? Personally, I'm not mad at what he said, but I agree with him to a certain extent. And on top of that, I think most people have turned it into a what can you do for me kind of a situation. It's no longer about family. It's not about hanging out with your friends and laughing and joking around and eating at the table and talking about life. Most of it is just you staring in your devices the whole time. You with your peoples, the car ride. You be at the funerals. You be at the grocery stores, in your phone. The day be over. It's 8 o'clock. Time to go to bed. Get ready. Start the day over again. You probably done formed a solid 10 sentences between you and the other person throughout the entire day. And then before the year is out, you done spent more than you actually saved. What's your thoughts on the clip?
Yeah, I mean, definitely nothing new under the sun, man. They generate holidays to give you reasons to continue spending money. And especially like you just said, under the guise that you're supposed to be spending time with your family and stuff nowadays, it's just more or less yeah, I think all great points, man, all solid points. Definitely, what can you spend? What can you do? Not necessarily about appreciation and just reflecting and how to move the family forward. So definitely a lot of things missing, a lot of things that they're pushing out there that no longer, as we like to use the word traditional, no longer traditional anymore. So times are changing.
The pressure of getting the perfect gift because people are ungrateful. Like you used to be able to just give somebody a card or some shit. What the fuck is this? You couldn't do better than this. People be having attitudes. They be moody, snappy. They be ready to cut you off completely because you didn't buy them something of the exact color. It wasn't the right size or whatever. It's sad. It's enough to make you not want to buy nobody nothing. Like, I just keep my money to myself. Like, cause it seemed like that's all you really concerned about. I put time and effort into this. The thoughtfulness of just giving to people is gone. I think, and I get it. You're trying to make money as a corporation. That's cool, but this is actually breaking homes and families up. Folks be crashing out, breaking up their relationships. Um, Kids are spoiled. I mean, spoiled. They don't see the value of a dollar at all in nothing. It used to be Tonka trucks, big wheels, Hot Wheel cars, little action figure toys and stuff like that. Now is you don't even know what to do with them. You put one of those toys in one of these kids' faces, they staring at it like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, man, times are changing, man. People are definitely showing people how they feel about them through gifts, and then those gifts have hefty price tags on them, and that's what happens when you start living for other people's responses versus living for yourself. You know what I mean? People are doing it for the gram, doing it for TikTok, Facebook, etc. Worrying about how happy people are online, and then worrying about how happy they can show somebody they are online versus internally within themselves and within their household. So yeah, that's what happens when you take care outside before you take care inside.
Who's at fault here for the conditions that we're in? Do you look at the house, the home first, for not keeping it? Look, this is how I was raised. These are the things that we're supposed to value. Everything outside of that can be a bonus, or it could actually be a problem depending on how much you invest in it. Do you start in the house and work your way outside the house to the corporations, to the commercials, to the social media, or is it something that we're missing here? Because I still valued playing in the dirt. I still was like, all right, we can make a crate out of a basketball rim and hang it on a tree, and that was the afternoon right there. You play half the day there, and then run around the neighborhood, and that's still something. Or like when your birthday come around, you just wanted your cousins and your uncles and everybody in the same space. Uh, if it was summertime, you couldn't go to the pool. The fire hydrant was open for everybody. Like, nah. Most people are just in the house now. You're not doing anything but staring at your apps and your devices, so on and so forth. So
I think times have changed, man. It starts in the house because it's not happening with everybody. It's happening with a few demographics of people. A lot of people don't have these issues. A lot of people don't necessarily, because you mentioned cell phones, have the people staring at cell phones. A lot of people, everybody runs their house differently. Some things that people do in their houses, other people don't. Some people are structured differently. But again, it just goes back to the accountability piece. So if you see that happen in your house, it starts with you, and then if you have a spouse or a significant other in the home, it starts with you two being on the same page, and that's typically where things kind of go different. Somebody may believe things should go a certain way, or some people may be going through some things, and instead of internally fixing those issues that they may be having, they might find their own coping mechanisms, and then that may now bleed out to other members in the home. And so instead of you being a team, and instead of there being structure, now everybody in the home is doing their own thing. So that in turn leads over to, if that's how people are conducting business in their homes, then you're not going to get the outreach. You're not going to get the, togetherness to want to spend time together and do those type of traditional things that you just mentioned. So I would say it starts, in the home.
I agree. We had to sit at the table. You could not eat in your room. Everything had to be right there and you weren't getting up until you were done, then everybody had to sit there. Grandparents, sisters, brothers, whoever lived in that house, you sat there and you talked. And then you ate all your food. You didn't exceed. You didn't try to hide and sneak and throw stuff in the trash, because if you did, that was going to be your ass. That's gone. And there's probably still a few people who still do it, and I salute them for it, because you don't see that at all anymore. It's really disappointing, honest, but I get it. Times have changed for the better or the worse. That's subjective. I think it's for the worse. I don't really see the good coming from it, because Valentine's Day, for example, why does it take you a whole calendar year for you to show love to somebody that you give yourself to on a daily basis, whether or not it's a relationship or it's just like your family? Why does it take you a whole year before you decide to do something special or show them that you give a fuck?
Yeah, I don't know if it takes a whole year. It probably just provides that day for. I mean, I understand the concept behind it, but for those people that don't have the money or don't have the opportunities, I guess it just provides them an opportunity for that day to identify somebody a little bit more special than the other one. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the holidays and that you have to stop what you're doing one particular day out of the year to pay homage to whatever the day is that they're honoring. I mean, that goes for everything though, but it's just something that they do here in America. And again, I understand the marketing value behind it and the marketing dollars, but if so many people are against it, then I mean, why do people support it? Because everybody's starting to say the same things: is why do we have to do these on these days? We don't have to do that. I show love every day. Then stop supporting it. You know what I mean? If everybody's going out there and actually supporting the days, then obviously the ones that don't want to do it are the few. So I mean, it's something out there for everybody. And if everybody felt that way, then kind of like they're doing with Target, put that movement together and shut the holiday down or shut the day down. But people don't have that same energy when they get a day off of work. You know what I mean? So you can't pick and choose, which days you supporting because you get the day off or it works to your benefit or in your favor. So I just keep the same energy for every day, and then just put together a movement to start shutting them down.
Feels like a form of validation seeking at this point.
It definitely could be. I mean, just like birthdays, it's all the same. If you've been appreciated every day, and somebody or some people make you feel worthy or whatever the verbiage wordplay you want to use, then I mean, technically you don't have to celebrate any of those days. You just be happy to be alive, I suppose. It just like you said, it's subjective. It just depends on your perspective.
Exactly, because I don't know, man. I'm very simple. You don't have to do a whole. You don't have to do a lot. My only concern is consideration and reciprocity. That's it. Anything else above and beyond that is just the icing on the cake. But I don't see doing all of the extra stuff if you are not economically capable of doing it. You should be able to do something for someone without there being a dollar amount attached to it to substantiate whether or not they really fuck with you or not. You telling me if I spend $3,000 on you, that means I actually care about you, versus me spending $10 on you and oh, that's all you think about me. $10, you couldn't do better than that. So now you're looking at me sideways because I couldn't bring the moon to you, but understanding that the value in both could be weighed completely different. Just because somebody spends $3,000 on you, that doesn't mean that it holds more weight than the $10 gift. It don't. It all depends on the person. It depends on the circumstances and where their heart is. Because a person can hate your guts and still buy you something expensive. A person could be a pathological liar, a cheater, all type of stuff, and spend on you. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's understood nowadays. I mean, or people just surround themselves with the wrong people. I think to that point where the economy is right now, everybody understands that people barely got a roof over their head. So I don't think it's something that's as prevalent these days as it was in the past. Everybody's struggling. People barely having jobs nowadays, and if anybody that has that mindset, I would say that obviously probably need to do some maturing and some growing in life. And you probably shouldn't surround yourself around those type of people. That shit ain't really worth talking about. There's too much other stuff going on right now than somebody worried about a $3,000 gift versus a $10 gift. So change your mindset, change your people, find some new people to be around.
that shit crazy too, because man, people can barely keep a roof over their head. It's not like you're getting paid exuberantly on the job. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still like they don't care. We're gonna put this out. We got flowers for such and such on discount. We got this on discount. You want to go to K Jewelers and get this for this? They don't care if you ain't making $100,000 a year or $30,000 a year. They trying to get theirs regardless. They don't bend the rules or make it easier for you to do for your loved ones. So you have to be crafty. You got to be creative, and you have to find other ways to live within your means, but also show other people in your life that you still care. Not to mention, most people don't even know why they celebrate holidays in the first place. You don't know the meanings behind some of the fucking holidays. You're just doing it because of the glitz and the glamour. It looked pretty on TV. The fireworks are going off, and everybody look like the harmonious out there. But you don't know the history behind the 4th of July. You don't know the history behind Christmas. You don't know the history behind Valentine's Day. You don't know the history behind Hanukkah and all these other, holidays. So it's like, y'all really just doing it so you can fill your quota or get that ego boost. Some, not all, but a large amount of you. And then you're doing a disservice to kids because you spoil the hell out of them. They grow up thinking that everything's just about how much you can spend and how many toys and boxes you can put on the Christmas tree. That ain't it. So let me ask you a question. Do people really know what they're celebrating?
I'll say no, man. People don't care either. I mean, if they did, they would do the research. Nobody cares that these are pagan holidays set up by other people. I mean, the true meaning of it, no. I don't think anybody cares, to be honest with you, bro.
Nah, I don't see that either.
And that's more depressing than actually getting a gift. So,
yeah. Halloween is one of them too. Like, I stopped fucking around with Halloween years ago because it's an evil holiday to me. But y'all like to dress up, and y'all 45 years old, half naked, going trick or treating with your kids and shit. Like, what? No. Y'all done turned some of this stuff into Sodom and Gomorrah, my nigga. it's if y'all really, if people really knew what these holidays were about, would they? Nah, never mind. I just answered my own question. They still wouldn't care. I think we too far gone now. It's just, what can you buy me? What can you get me?
Exactly.
I'm with bro on this though. I definitely, it probably won't change a lot, but if more people would do it, then maybe we see some changes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it again. It goes back to, like we always say, man, you gotta unlearn the things that you've learned, in this culture, and that takes too much, man. It took people too many years to learn the stuff that they know now. You know what I mean? Now you want to unlearn something, go read and learn some more information. About, and especially in the age where everything is about instantly uploading and downloading. Maybe they'll learn when they start uploading and downloading information direct to the memory bank. By then, it might be a little bit too late. But yeah, you're asking a lot for somebody to go out and read some stuff, man, nowadays.
You don't realize until you start burying your loved ones that you would rather have them than have the shirts and the shoes and all that bullshit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, now, man, with people passing left and right, and then people not necessarily knowing how to grieve correctly, it all started hitting you like a tidal wave. It all started coming, back to back to back to back, and then people start questioning themselves on, can they get a break? Or, can't seem to catch, good luck. Everything's happening to me, woe is me type stuff. You got to educate yourself. You got to learn, so that way you can learn how to navigate these crazy streets.
Yeah, that's a fact. I was having a conversation with someone, and they pride themselves on gift giving for their kids, and they really like get stressed out worrying how I'm going to be able to afford to put this under the tree, and how I'm going. And all I could think in my head was, should I say something? But I know if I say this, it's going to really piss them off. They're going to get really triggered. Yeah, because that's how women are, specifically mothers. Like, they don't really like being told shit. Single mothers, that is. Not all of them, but a few of them. Like, they really be. And I'm thinking to myself, you're spoiling them. You're making it seem like all this is about is toys and the iPad and the PS5 and the Xbox. They're gonna start talking to you sideways. They're gonna be mildly disrespectful because you're constantly giving them everything that they ask for. They're not working for it. They're not earning it. They don't understand the value of it and what you had to actually go through to get that. You're not even in the space to do these things, but you still going out of your way to do it. They don't see that. And you're not showing them that. So when they get it, it's like, oh, this. They toss it to the side. They play with it for that hour. Then they go right back to whatever else it was they got that was better than that. And you just spent $40, $50, $60 on this. It's going to collect dust. You ain't going to see it no more. You're going to end up donating it. So you just spent all that money for nothing. Oh, but nah, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I know if I say that, oh, you don't know, I'm the one doing this. I'm all by myself. I didn't ask all that. That wasn't my point. My point is, live within your means. You can do things for your loved ones, but make sure they understand the value of that stuff.
Yeah, but that's when it comes down to who's it valuable to. You know, you or them. It might not be valuable to them, so that's why they don't appreciate it. You know, just because you give people gifts don't mean that that's something that they should appreciate. Just because you got it. I mean, the first thing is they probably didn't want it. You know what I mean? Typically, people don't appreciate things that they don't want. So you know, I think that's some parents, man. Just the ball might have been dropped, man, and just teaching people how to communicate with their, like you said, just anybody you're exchanging a gift with, just to make sure there's something that they even want. 'Cause you might be getting them all the wrong things. You buying them gifts, you buying them toys, you buying them shirts. They could have wanted a hug and an I love you. You know what I mean? So again, the the attention might be right, but the execution might be wrong. So you know you got to have those questions and know what they want and know what they need during that time frame, whichever holiday it is that you're supporting. You know what I mean? So I think that might go a little bit longer ways than just buying stuff and worrying about the intangible values of the actual gift itself. So you know everybody's different. So with each person that you give your gift from, whatever it is that your gift is, you know, it should definitely be personable. But you should understand what they want and what they need versus this goes to that projection thing that we were talking about the other day, that you could be projecting by giving somebody an expensive gift and they didn't want it. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. I think gift giving is a talent. You know, if you actually care, and that's one of your quote unquote languages of love is giving gifts, then you definitely be strategic about it and make sure you're actually giving something that somebody wants to receive from you.
Yeah. I think that's why I don't really like holidays no more. Just because of the way I grew up. Everybody was a family unit. We was all outside letting off the sparklers, and the barbecue was right there in the front yard. People sat out on the front porch and actually talked, and you know they might have drunk their Miller Lights or whatever the hell your preference was. They was out there with the cooler and all that. Kids just running around, stuff like that. You don't see that no more. It's like a ghost town. A ghost town. You see YNs. That's what you see. You see YNs walking up and down the street, posted up in front of stores and the gas stations. You don't see kids playing outside no more. You don't see neighbors being neighbors or none of that stuff. And yeah, I just hate seeing it. I'm not surprised. It's just damn. I still got things from my childhood that didn't cost but a couple dollars, but to me, that meant more to me than that $1,500 phone that you got in your hand. You stuck in the matrix. You staring at all of these videos and these cartoons and these animations, but you ain't living life. You're not really living life at all. I couldn't be around or in a situation with people who put more stock or investment in their items than they do the actual people. Something's off about that.
Yeah, again, like I said, man, it's depends on who's raising who, man. You mentioned single mothers earlier. You know, depending on if the devices are helping raise the kids, you know, not just single mothers, single fathers, anybody, whoever could be, you know, preparing meals instead of having the conversations. Probably just need to look at, you know, change up how things are being done. You know, so much stuff is done in isolation nowadays, you know, like you said. So maybe just kind of gravitating towards those things from back in the days, you know, cooking together, you know, teaching crafts, teaching people how to learn how to, you know, do things with their hands, because trades is still something that's undervalued out there in the workforce. So, those things start around the house. We're learning how to change the light bulb, learning how to, unconnect or disconnect the hose from the water spigot, little things like that. Putting together items that you might go purchase, or painting around the house, little shit, cleaning up the house, and, having chores and those type of things. Cause that's when you're building that work ethic, is right there in the comforts of your own home, and that's what, again, hoping that everybody in the house is on the same page, make sure everybody's thinking the same, feeling the same, and then just go about executing that way. There's definitely ways to go about changing it. Just like I said, simple things around the house. It doesn't have to be something drastic, but if that's a concern that a lot of people share, that's definitely worth talking about, and changing and providing tips, what you do in your house, what's some things you do with your family, maybe exchanging those, because that's, again, it goes back to the neighborly thing that you talked about earlier, sharing some of those tips. Also can be where some of the bad information comes from people sharing, but using discernment, taking in good ideas, throwing out bad ideas, and just trying things and trying to see what works. Because right now, like you said, the current state of affairs, a lot of things just ain't working right now. So, and then you hear a lot too. I've heard a lot, and just scrolling through social media this weekend, a lot of people saying that, the holidays just don't feel like the holidays no more. Christmas just don't feel like Christmas. The weather's kind of crazy. It's 80 degrees in places it's supposed to be cold. So yep. It's just a lot of things that's going on, man. That's kind of got people out of the vibe.
The answers is typically right in your face too. I mean, you think about it, like you asking that question, but what changed in your routine? And was the changes in your routine positive change or a negative one?
I think, like you just said, well, you hear a lot of people talk about, when the grandparents pass away, things just ain't the same no more because it was the glue that held the family together. But you don't hear about people talking about how they stepped up, into people's places that are no longer here anymore and kept things going that they, quote unquote, may have liked or enjoyed. So those are both positive and negative things that can be, changes that affected the way things happen in the home place, and just, in neighborhoods as well. Just that the elders dying off and nobody grabbing the mantle and carrying that torch. Just like, you look out there in the economy, when they talk about, you don't have a lot of people in the community out there representing people of color. And then they say, rappers, actors, and athletes, they aren't your civil rights leaders and all that type of stuff. Well, again, just another example, how nobody stepped up into those places. So it seems like everything from the elders category demographic has gone away. So with that missing piece, and then nobody stepping up to carry that mantle, all those traditions and things that you mentioned that, that you come accustomed to are gone. So they're not carrying over, necessarily in certain areas. So that could be one of the things, among a lot of things, but that could be one of them.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I said, look at your patterns. What changed? What did you do versus what you decided not to do? But, like, how you were raised. And a lot of us, we want to carry on traditions. Some of us just aren't strong enough to do it, or we don't have it in us to do it. And then you don't have the tribe anymore. You can't do all of it by yourself, right? As good as your heart is, it takes a village. And everybody ain't on that. So I think that's definitely a large part of it for sure. Because I personally see it myself, and can't really blame others outside of yourself for some of the conditions that we end up in, that whole accountability piece, right? You know how your pops used to do certain stuff, how they used to cook in the kitchen, how they did the ornaments, and you watched it for years and years and years. So why didn't you keep doing it? Everything got modernized. We got too reliable, or reliant on technology, on getting everywhere quick. Just a tap of the button, you can get everything you ask for sent to you via USPS or UPS or FedEx. Oh, you can DoorDash, Instacart. Everything is readily available to you. You don't have to really put a lot of effort into anything anymore. We got lazy and desensitized.
Yeah, definitely desensitized, man. Nobody care about nothing no more. It's like a badge of honor. You know what I mean? To who can be the most disrespectful. And then that's one of the biggest issues. Nobody's walking around respecting anybody no more than how you walking around trying to hold on to, quote unquote traditions, things that, were all about respect, all about, acknowledging the other person. Now you only care about yourself, which is crazy because you say, self-preservation, take care of your mental health. You got to take care of yourself first. But at the same time, once you take care of yourself, you're supposed to go out and try to help everybody else. But that seems to be the part that people are leaving out. It's just more or less people want to go out, make sure they're good, and then it's every man for himself after that. But yeah, it's kind of hard to hold on to family traditions and family things when, it's all about, me, myself, and I.
Yeah. Well, I guess in hindsight, at least we got it though. Some of you youngins, man, y'all ain't gonna never get it. I was I was fortunate enough to put the Christmas lights up and do the Santa Claus stuff and all that. Y'all probably don't even know who Santa Claus was in 2025. That's probably just a figment of y'all imagination. We spent years believing he was real. Y'all already know he ain't. Y'all came out in the womb knowing that it was your mom's or Uncle Jerry who bought you that. Yeah, that's not really your uncle. Secret Santa. Yeah. That's that, but that's I'm with, like I said again, I'm with bro on that. Like, you're not about to keep on raping my pockets. Nah. It's bad enough. Y'all not making it easier on us to live out here. We can't really park nowhere without getting a ticket or getting our car towed. You raise the rent every month. Car insurance is ridiculous. Life insurance. You charging us to bury us. Minimum wage ain't shit. But you still want us to go out here and buy all this Halloween candy. Spend $100 on a costume that you're only going to wear one time out of the year. Fireworks for what, a day? Granted, some of y'all still be having fireworks until December. From July to fucking August, October, y'all still be shooting them off. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of over the holidays, and it's all, and the way that I'm going to do it or celebrate them, it's not going to really be a popular thing because I don't see the same value in it as everybody else. I don't think that you have to spend a whole lot of money to celebrate a holiday if that's what you want to do. Yeah, those are my final thoughts on it. I do think it's a scam though.
Nah, yeah, man. You know, this day and age, you will hope people are doing things like stocking up on water, food, you know, things that they can stay warm and that they need in their houses, man. Because the way this weather is going, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Keep those T-shirts and all those other things you buy from the stores on the racks, and just focus on the things you can eat and help you stay warm. Because that's the thing is you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. The way the weather is going, it's 50, 60 miles per hour winds out here in Texas today. It's crazy. 80 degrees yesterday. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, people power going out left and right, you know, from the wind. You know, just worry about your loved ones, you know, and making sure everybody stays safe, man. Spending money on the holidays, you know, that's cool, but think about the things that matter, like you said, because once the people that, you know, your loved ones ain't here no more, you won't be able to spend time with them. So, you know, do what makes you feel good. But, you know, make sure you stay safe and take care of your family at the same time, because kids can't eat them toys.
That's a fact. And get out that trap that they got you in. Y'all out here competing with other people to see who can outbuy the other person or who can outgift the other person. And then you angry and you fighting and you no longer friends with a person over some stupid stuff. Like, nah, that ain't it. But yeah, be easy, man. Y'all go into this new year with a different way of thinking about this stuff. If you're trying to hold on to something from the traditional ways that your folks grew up on, more power to you. That's what I'm gonna say. More power to you. But we about to get up out of here, man. We got another one later on. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Any final words before we go?
Nah, man, just you said it, you killed it. Look forward to later on.
All right. Y'all be easy, man. 7 p.m. Eastern. Tap in. We out. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't front on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones